to Adhyaksh Maharaj and Director of Vivekananda Institute of Higher Excellence. And I compliment all of you for having joined this course, and I profoundly hope that all of you will go out enriched after 3 days. Recently, the census findings of 2011 were out. The decennial census is one of the most massive human enumeration exercises ever taken in the history of mankind. And some of the facts and figures are startling. One striking fact is that 66% of Indian population is below 35 years of age. And it is estimated that this youthful preponderance and predominance will continue up to 2050. There is a raging debate as to whether this is an advantage or disadvantage, whether this will be a boon or a bane, whether this will be a demographic dividend or a demographic disaster. These questions only time can answer. But one thing which is strikingly clear is that for the next 6.5 decades or so, we have already completed 6.5 decades of existence. For the next 6.5 decades, the defining factor in the country will be the youth, that is youth. Just like its population, India is also very young. India, as we know it today as a country, is only 65 years old, though it has a civilization of more than 5,000 years. In the history of nations, 65 years is a very short period. But even then, if an assessment has to be made as to how the country has fared, we don't have an impressive record. Countries which started or which embarked on the journey towards development along with us have traveled light years ahead of us. Japan, for instance, was totally devastated after the Second World War. Today, Japan is an economic powerhouse. Germany suffered a miserable defeat in the Second World War. Today, Germany's economy is very strong. Compared to these countries, India definitely has certain inestimable advantages. As I told you earlier, we have 5,000 years of glorious heritage behind us. Nani Palkiwala very eloquently puts it, our genes have evolved over 5 luminous millennia. And we are richly endowed with natural resources. We have an inexhaustible reservoir of multi-splendored human resource. In spite of these advantages, India is lagging behind when compared to other countries. And if one were to ask the question, why? One reason which is often cited is that though India has all these advantages, one thing which is lacking is sense of devotion, sense of discipline, sense of patriotism among its citizens. It is said nature is a wonderful handicapper. It doesn't give everything to everyone. To Japan, nature has gifted its people a sense of duty and devotion. There is total absence of natural resources. There are some countries which are gifted, which have the gift of oil, but without upgraded human resources. India has very rich natural and human resource, but as I told you earlier, we lack the sense of devotion, duty and patriotism. And if these qualities are inculcated, definitely India will take its place among the community of nations. And it is in this context that courses such as these and institutions such as these assume great importance. And I definitely hope that after 3 days, you will go out as integrated personalities. Your caliber and character will get enriched. When we were young, when we were of your age, we were told that these are impressionable years. We have to inculcate certain good habits. Habits, as you all know, die hard. It is very much intrinsic to the word habit. Remove H, a bit remains. Remove H and A, bit remains. Remove H, A and B, it remains. So it is very much intrinsic to the word habit. If you inculcate good habits during this age, it will stand you in good stead throughout your lives. One habit which you should definitely inculcate is the habit of reading. Read something every day. We were advised that read at least 3 pages of something every day. Because by reading, you gather information. Information by assimilation becomes knowledge. And knowledge, by a strange process of neurochemistry, becomes wisdom. And wisdom is something which is quite uncommon. Wisdom is robust, common sense, and common sense is supposed to be very uncommon. So wisdom is the power of judgment. It is the ability to distinguish the right from the wrong. So that can be acquired by reading. So that is one habit which you should inculcate during these years. And second habit is the habit of industry, habit of capacity to work hard. As it is famously said, genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. And as a famous poet said, nothing is achieved without hard work. Heights by great men reached and kept are not attained by flights of glory, but they, when their compatriots slept, burnt the midnight oil. Third virtue or habit which was commended to us was the habit of time consciousness. You should be young in years but old in hours. Fill your years with life and not life with years. Adi Shankaracharya lived only for 32 years. Swami Vivekananda died before the age of 40. But they achieved great things in this short span of time. Adi Shankaracharya, for instance, was the greatest national integrationist. He traversed all the 4 corners of the country. Go to any place in India. For instance, while we were IAS probationers, we were taken on Bharat Darshan. Some remote corner in Srikakulam, people say Adi Shankaracharya had visited this place. Some place somewhere in Karnataka, Adi Shankaracharya, there is a legend that Adi Shankaracharya had visited that place. Go to Kashmir, there is a Sarvagna Peetham which was established by Adi Shankaracharya. In Kedar, in Badrinath, in Puri, Dwarka and Sringeri, 4 corners of the country, mutts were established by Adi Shankaracharya. A great national integrationist. He traversed on foot the length and breadth of this country, and all this before the age of 32. He was a great philosopher, a great poet. The distilled essence of Upanishads were given in few compositions like Bhaja Govindam, and all this was achieved in a short span of 32 years. He was one who had filled his years with life and not his life with years. So is the case with Swami Vivekananda. So this aspect of time consciousness, if you learn the value of time, and if you learn to use every second productively, that will stand you in good stead throughout your life. Similarly, the virtues of perseverance and determination. Definitely during the duration of this course, you will be told about these virtues. But there are several instances. If you look at the biographies of great men, they have all been able to surmount great handicaps, and they have been able to achieve vertiginous heights only by sheer determination and perseverance. All of you might have heard of Abraham Lincoln. He was not a good orator when he started out as a politician, as a lawyer. And I am told that he suffered from a stammer as well during his childhood days. But by sheer perseverance and determination, he was able to overcome this handicap, and he is one of the most outstanding public speakers ever known to humankind. A person who suffered from stammer during his childhood days could surmount this handicap, and he became one of the most outstanding public speakers. So is the case with Nani Palkiwala. He is one of the greatest constitutional lawyers that India has ever produced. He suffered from a stammer during his childhood days, but he was the master of a profession for which oratory was one of the tools. So all these great men, by sheer perseverance, and many other great men, by sheer perseverance, they have been able to surmount various handicaps, and they have been able to achieve great heights. And handicap, or if you have any deficiencies, that should not deter you from proceeding ahead. Your perseverance should be able to surmount these handicaps. And I am sure that after you go out of this course, or after 3 days or so, you would have inculcated these virtues, and then your character will be definitely enriched. And I wish you a very bright future and career. Thank you.